It is Thursday, August 20th, 2020. Women's Forum tonight, ladies. Third Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Take advantage of the opportunity. Those meetings, the men's forums are excellent. They're a highlight for the month. The women's forums, no doubt, excellent as well. And of course, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson is always great, right? But the women's forums for ladies only, third Thursday of the month. Men's forums for men only, first Thursday of the month at Bond in Los Angeles. I can vouch, they are excellent. What's up, everybody on YouTube, D Live, Periscope, Facebook, and Twitch? I see you are live. And you can call in 888-775-3773. Some of you are already on hold, including my second favorite caller. Appreciate it. So, let's get ready for the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how is it going, everybody? You can call in, like I said, 888-775-3773. It is 9:03 a.m. Yes, we're streaming before the 9:05 a.m. thing. I've been scheduling my YouTube live thing for 9:05. That way, it gives the radio technical crew, the board operator, a couple of minutes to switch from the Jesse Lee Peterson show, who goes right before me in this studio. This is Jesse Lee Peterson's studio, to switch to my show. You can podcast my show too. Did you know that? You can podcast the Jesse Lee Peterson show, the Hake Report. The Fallen State is on audio podcast, as well as Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, which includes the throwback services. We put out a throwback service, Sunday service, from Bond Sunday Services. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson is the podcast title from 2009. We're coming to the end of 2009, guys. We put it out. We premiere it on the Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel on Wednesdays. 4 p.m. Pacific time is what we've been doing lately. All right. So I have quite an interesting show for you. Last night was the Democrat National Convention, Day 3. Of course, probably boring. I didn't watch a lick of it. But I saw bits of it when I was, we may sometimes have Fox News playing in the background. Sometimes One America News Network. Sometimes Newsmax. But it was DNC Day 3, Democrat National Convention. Not to be confused with the Democrat National Committee, on whose board or whatever, who had a female chairman of Donna Brazile, who cheated 4 years ago or so, and gave Hillary Clinton a debate question in advance of her debate with Bernie Sanders, the socialist. But anyways, and now she's on Fox News. Now she's on Fox News. Donna Brazile, black female. She's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before. She pretends to be friendly. But I read for you in Hake News some quotes from Barack Obama. According to Drudge, he became misty, which seems to imply that his eyes got a little bit moist. He pretended to cry after we the people voted down gun control measures that he wanted to push after a mass shooting. You know how the Democrats, after every mass shooting, which was, you can thank the Democrats for it because they promote this stuff, promote the destruction of the family and giving drugs to kids because they think that that's science. And then when the kids grow up to shoot people, they blame the guns. They blame our Second Amendment. They blame the NRA as terrorists or something like that. It's so ridiculous. No NRA member has ever committed a crazy shooting that I know of. But I think he tried to cry at that point. He's so phony. He's like, there's not a genuine or sincere bone in Barack Obama's body. And his body is bony, seemingly. But I think that he's pretended to cry or something like that, and pretending to act like our democracy is at stake. And it's not a democracy, but they want it to be. Democracy means mob rule, right? Majority rules. And they want to corrupt the majority, which is what they've been pushing and doing endlessly. Well, I didn't read to you in Hake News about Kamala talking. Kamala Harris, that is. There is video of it. I didn't get any part of it, but I just saw her. And when you look at people talking on video, watch them on silent or just look at them, even if it's not on silent. And you can tell sometimes when they're like nuts or fake or whatever, or angry or nasty. You can kind of tell. And Kamala was very much like that. And it's funny, somebody pointed out to me, I think it was Chris, the social media guy, he pointed out that back in the day, Kamala, when she has like these baby pictures, she never smiled. She was always like this. Just an unsmiling child. But now she has this big phony smile. And I saw in this article in Psychology Today about why does Kamala make you want to smile? And they focus on around her eyes. She squints her eyes so that she's smiling with her eyes too, right? And that's supposed to be a genuine smile, right? But anybody can squint their eyes and then make it look like their smile is genuine. People do that all the time. And there is a term for that type of smile or grin that is pretty vulgar that I don't want to repeat, but it is nasty. Which one is Kamala? Is she the one with the curly hair?
On the right, yeah.
Yeah, on the right. There's Kamala. There she is as a teenager or a young adult or something. I don't know. But even younger pictures, she's like not necessarily an unhappy child, because you can't really read their minds. I kind of like when kids don't smile. But she's fake now. She grew up to be a fake person, always smiling and pretending to be real. But the intellectuals, the females in Psychology Today, which is like a Pathos, which is just a blog site for different people who are supposed psychologists, which is a fake science, right? Kamala made history, CNN reports. California Senator Kamala Harris made history Wednesday night as the first black, and they capitalized the word black, which is incorrect, but by custom, they're making it the custom, right? And South Asian woman, she's South Asian, which means Indian, from India, her mother, to accept a major party's vice presidential nomination, promising to be a champion for the voiceless and forgotten Americans who are struggling in the midst of the pandemic and the economic crisis, which was brought on by the likes of her, the Democrats. Oh gosh, right? She introduced herself as a daughter of Indian and Jamaican immigrants. In other words, an anchor baby, unless her parents were citizens, which they weren't, according to an article in Newsweek that I read to you guys. And they were likely not even legal or lawful permanent residents. Her parents were not. They were maybe here in America on student visa going to UC Berkeley, which that shouldn't even count as America. The UC systems have been quite corrupt for some time and churning out anti-America type people. But that's beside the point. Well, it kind of is part of the point, to be honest. But she would strive to restore the principles of inclusivity. Which one is her? Is she the younger one or I think she's the older child, because her parents met in 61 or so, maybe, because that's the first time that the father came into the United States, and maybe the mother too, 60 or 61. She got accepted to Berkeley in 58, supposedly, or she applied in 58. That's the older one, huh?
Yeah, that's the older
What a shame to think that a cute little innocent child is going to become, or I don't know, is going to grow up to become an evil person. How does that happen? But you notice the innocence and freedom of children just disappear right around adolescence, or maybe a little before, actually, a lot before in many cases, right? But they become like dull and unhappy, and it's crazy. But inclusivity, and you know that that is only inclusive of evil people. It's not inclusive of decent people. After 4 years of divisiveness under Trump, citing the example of her mother. And speaking of divisive, her parents got divorced when she was 7. That's divisive, right? That's a classic case of division. And she went off with her mother to Canada. Anyways, she came back to come to Howard University at HBCU, which is a historically black college or university. So her mother taught her daughters to be conscious and compassionate of the struggles of all people and to believe that the fight for justice is shared responsibility. Sounds kind of communist. Doesn't sound like it has anything to do with responsibility. Jesse Lee Peterson's book is From Rage to Responsibility. She promotes rage and pretends that it's, oh, we're all responsible for each other. Fake. Harris noted that is why she became a prosecutor who tried to reform the criminal justice system from within. Who believes that? I don't think anybody believes that. She claimed, despite all evidence, that Americans are, listen to this quote, united, this is a direct quote from Kamala's speech, right? United by the fundamental belief that every human being is of infinite worth, and deserving of compassion, dignity, and respect. That's what she pretends to believe. Every human being is of infinite worth, deserving of compassion, dignity, and respect, except for babies, especially unborn babies, white people, old people, which they support assisted suicide, conservatives and Christians, which they dehumanize and call Nazis and fetuses, right? Or clumps of cells. A cell. One guy on Twitter referred to babies, unborn babies, as a cell. Ridiculous. She said, quote, this is another rich quote. There is no vaccine for racism. We've got to do the work, Kamala Harris said. For George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor, for the lives of too many others to name, for our children, for all of us. But she talked about racism. The George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, who was overdosing, resisting arrest, didn't want to get into the police car, said, let me lay down on the ground. And before he was fully on the ground, or right around that point, he's like, I can't breathe. Before anybody was sitting on him. And then Breonna Taylor, who was previously dating a drug dealer, according to Wikipedia, which is a leftist outlet, but they try to get their facts right, but they don't always get their facts right. But if anything, they would be casting Breonna Taylor in as positive light as they could because they're liberals. And they pretend that blacks are victims. Breonna Taylor was a black young woman. And she had previously dated a drug dealer, and then she was with this other guy who we don't know what he was into, which I don't know what he was into, right? But he had a gun that he had the right to have, and cops broke in. Supposedly they announced it themselves, but he thought that they were intruders, so he shot at them, and they shot back, and she was caught in the crossfire. That's racism. How? This woman, Kamala Harris, is a lawyer. A lawyer? A lawyer knows what lies she's saying or not, right? I know she's a woman. I know she's so-called part black. But I know she's liberal, right? And it is their custom to lie and pretend that racism is real. But this stuff is examples of racism. How? I even interviewed this Black Rhino guy who admitted that, yes, this George Floyd incident, there's no evidence of any so-called racism. No evidence. By the way, thank you guys for the diamonds and ninjaginis and ninjets and the super chats over on Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. I'm demonetized on YouTube for now. But come this Friday, I get to reapply. And then maybe in 6 months, they'll answer my application with a resounding yes or no. We'll see. But anyways, I will get to those. But she said, we've got to do the work to fulfill that promise of equal justice under the law, which they don't want that. We already had that, and they've been upending that. None of us are free until all of us are free, she said. Very original and inspiring. Who's not free? Who's not free? Maybe is she talking about freeing the prisoners that... I heard that she tried to keep innocent men in jail. Is that true? Somebody look into that for me. So she paid her dumb compliments to Joe Biden. She's his running mate, right? And Joe Biden is running on the pretense that after seeing the Charlottesville riots, in which Antifa and Black Lives Matter attacked members of the alt-right who had the right to peacefully protest there. They even went to court to get their permit. But the cops didn't keep them separated. No thanks to the mayor or the city council. And they allowed havoc to come about. One alt-right guy who had autism and problems with his mother, he lived with his mother, I think, or maybe just freshly had moved out. But he had issues with his mother. Angry guy. He freaked out. I don't know if it was out of fear or anger or what, but he drove into a crowd. A woman, I don't even know if she got hit, but she was on the scene and had a heart attack and died, according to what I heard. You guys can look into what happened to Heather Heyer, who was the white female liberal woman thinking that she was a do-gooder, fighting against racism, right? Speaking out against racism out in the alley or street, whatever that was, in Charlottesville, Virginia, when that Dodge Charger driven by James Fields, who's now serving life in prison for so-called hate crime, and they called it a hate crime based on previous Facebook posts and stuff like that. Ridiculous. But whatever. That was the pretense for which Joe Biden is running for office, because we're fighting for the soul of America, pretending that white racism against blacks is the problem. What a liar. So anyways, she's running with him, and President Trump tweeted, but didn't she call him a racist? Didn't she say that he was incompetent? Yeah? Trump tweeted that, and that's true. So AP, the far left AP News, is pretending that they're objective and honest. They covered the Democrat National Convention on night 3. They left out the obvious lie that Kamala put in about Breonna Taylor, trying to imply that Breonna Taylor and George Floyd were instances of racism. They left that part of the quotes out, but they did point out about their fellow Democrats, because AP is Democrat organization, right? In 2016, they dismissed and sometimes trivialized Trump. Now they are casting him as an existential threat to the country, which is silly. Even like liberal journalists, honest ones, like Michael Tracy, for example. Follow him on Twitter, at @mtracy. He said that's unconvincing. They should have just said that he came in promising to end the status quo, but he's pretty much maintained the status quo. But that would be a problem for Democrats because they maintain the status quo too. Anyways, in addition to Hillary Clinton, who also spoke, she's like, don't let Trump sneak or steal the election, like is what the Democrats were trying to do. But in addition to Hillary, they also had the anti-gun former Arizona representative, Gabby Giffords. Gabby Giffords is this cute lady, white lady, who was a representative, a Democrat congressman, female, who got shot by I don't know, I forget who, I think it was a white guy, and I don't know what was wrong with him or what was his motive. But she got shot in the head and had brain damage. It was so like nice to see her talk. She's all cute but she has she's definitely affected by that, physically affected by that shooting. And of course, she's a liberal female, white lady. I think she's white. I don't know if she pretends to be Christian. She urged America to support Joe Biden. Disgusting. She said, "I struggled to speak, but I have not lost my voice. Vote, vote, vote." And I say, no. You guys shouldn't vote. You dumb, useful idiots who fall for this stuff. By the way, I say AP is Democrats because that's what they support. They're very incredulous with Trump when they should be realizing that he's aimed at telling the truth. And they should not be so credulous with the Democrats and the illegal aliens who say they're fleeing poverty and terror and stuff like that and domestic violence. They just say it and they put it out there very credulously. Credulously is gullibly. Gullibly? I don't know. Oh, by the way, I have to show this to you guys and then I will get to calls. Thank you to you guys for hanging on and the super chats. But I have to show you this. The title of this video, it's 11A, Joel, is What Happened to Joe Biden? And this is kind of sad. It is a Donald J. Trump campaign video showing, and if you're listening to the audio podcast, I think you'll still get what's going on. And the title of this video is Watch, Past versus Present. And I also have part B, which highlights the president as commander-in-chief. But part A is a minute or so of Joe Biden when he used to be energetic and bright, and even for a Democrat, right? And deceiving, to now just fumbling and mumbling and having his head down and not low energy. Listen and watch this.
He became president. I didn't go, and I'm still vice president.
2015.
And in addition to that, we have to make sure that we are in a position that we are. Think about it.
That was 2020.
Everybody has known from day one how smart, how bright Hillary is. Everybody knows how tough she is. You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. So be successful. I sincerely hope some of you become millionaires and billionaires. I mean that. But engage. You know, there's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it
Isn't that sad? If you're an emotional person. Dang. That is tough to watch. And I showed this to a friend of mine. I showed it to Esteban. And he's all, but it looks like they could have cherry-picked the worst parts. But there is a definite difference in Joe Biden of 2012, 2015, 2016, and Joe Biden of today. And that's another thing that the liberal independent journalist Michael Tracy has been calling out for months now. Feels like a year, actually. Maybe more. I don't know. But he's been calling it out, and he said that people talk about gaffes. He said that nobody outside of the media nobody outside of the mainstream media refers to what Joe Biden does as gaffes. Nobody says, oh, that was a gaffe when they misspeak, right? Or say something stupid by accident. It was a gaffe. They might say, oh, I put my foot in my mouth. But they don't use the word gaffes. And they say, oh, Joe Biden has always been gaffe prone. But they're just showing him being low energy, confused. Maybe he's getting tired of being in his in his basement. Half of those, if not all of them, are him. I guess that's a nice done-up basement where he lives in Wilmington, Delaware, whatever. If Jenny Crosby says he's gone too long without his adrenochrome. And for those of you who don't know, I guess adrenochrome, I don't want to say it. It's something from, right? Is it having anything to do with using aborted babies' body parts? I don't know. Anyways, that guy is 77. Some men at 77 are sharp. I remember showing you guys, I think it was at the beginning of White History Month, a contrast between him versus 80. How old is the great Sheriff Joe Arpaio? Is he 88? 88 years old, and he's still quite sharp. Sheriff Joe. And strong, and doesn't say stupid stuff, and good energy. Good man. If any man is good, right? No man is good. So I had to share that with you. It's, to me, maybe I'm just kind of bad. Is the audio bad? Audio is sometimes messed up, guys. Press 1 if audio is great. If it's better now. Hot Computer Smell says it's better now. Choppy audio when Hake said magic left his word. Which one is that? Audio seems fine now. Wonder what was going on. Press 2 if audio's still bad. Press 3 if it's a little bit choppy. At times. Sorry about that, guys. It's discrimination. It's the anti-white world. By the way, I'm wearing my Tom Like a Mug with Jesse Lee Peterson t-shirt from Jesse Lee Peterson Teespring store, which you can find by going to, if you go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores, you can find it. Or you can find the Jesse Lee Peterson Teespring store anyways. Links, right? Boom. Tom Like a Mug. There's a picture of a mug. Like a cup with a handle on it. It says Tom Like a Mug. And each of these designs, by the way, you can get a mug version or a sticker version or a t-shirt or sweatshirt or tank top, sleeveless. People are saying 3. People are saying 3. Does that mean chop, chop, choppy? Man, somebody get Bill. You have him coming?
I think I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Joel thinks he knows what it is. That's very encouraging. Is it something that you think you can fix? No? But he knows what it is, and knowing is half the battle. Man, what a pain. It's not the switcher, though. He's streaming on Wirecast. Oh, you're streaming on Wirecast, not the switcher, and that's the problem?
It could be the problem.
It could be. Man. Now the audio is shaky again, says Ed over on Periscope. It's better now, says Blessed and Praying. Thank you. Joel is going to get Bill. Hake chopping it up. Man, fix that dang. And he didn't say dang. Stream already, says Shane. I agree. It just became 2. Hake says 531-8008. Change the sample rate. That's a good point. Let us see. Bit rate 2007 kilobytes per second. Frames per second 30. Keyframe interval 2. Resolution 1280 by 720. Bill is on the way. Black Tech, Boomer Tech, Hake Tech. 111, it's good now. Thank you to Will. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Press 1 if it's all good, because I want to get to some, I want to get to the super chats and callers. Choppy. F for fail. And in the meantime, let me see if I can read super chats, guys. Jarrell, jiggle the wires. All right, I'm seeing some ones. Jesse Lee Peterson hosting the Hake Report. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That's cool. Big Mamajas and I don't know if it's with the JAS, Mamajas, says with a diamond, what's wrong with raising homegrown Christian kids? That's a good question. I don't know if anything is wrong with it, although the parents have to actually be living it, because a lot of parents, and they don't seem honest with themselves or others. A lot of parents are kind of off or whatever. I don't know. But so you have to really be living it too. Made a little change. The glitch was seconds for me, but it was noticeable, and now it's fixed. Is it fixed? We think?
I would have to.
You have to cut the stream and start it over?
Right, but I made a little change, so we might fix it.
Okay. Joel made a little change that might fix it, guys. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. Ben Oberst, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but thank you, says, say no to selfish passivity. Not to be confused with white silence is violence. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm referring to the Black Lives Matter slogan of whites are silent about racism against blacks, and that's violence. We feel your silence, right? I don't think that that's what he means, but don't be passive in the face of evil, right? Uncle Ted 88 with the diamond. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That's cool. Good to see you. The gardener gave a diamond and said, never, ever, never trust a thought. And he spelled it as in that person over there. Did you know that that's what thought stands for? T-H-O-T? Is that, maybe I shouldn't repeat that because this is a family-friendly, children's-friendly show, right? Speaking of child-friendly, you know, Joel got out of the Hollywood-style hip-hop scene or dance scene because of the sexualizing of young people and dance and all that stuff, and he just started his own thing and teaching kids clean stuff. But that's not what Netflix is teaching or promoting or whatever. Or maybe that movie is intended to save the kids from being into that stuff, but I think that they don't do anything in the right way. Netflix, because they're liberals. You know, there was this TV show about suicide back a year or two or three ago. And, you know, suicides are on the rise because misery is on the rise and immorality is on the rise and all that stuff. And it was a sick, disgusting show. And there's a whole lot of sick, disgusting shows out there that are not the solution, but they pretend to be. And it's gross. Arizona lineman with a diamond and said, weekend at Biden's. Joe is not alive, LOL. Yeah. It's he's like pretty lifeless. It's interesting. Fan of the ladies gave a diamond and said, watched anti-racist Hitler. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, pretty poignant short film, cartoon. Very clever. And it has real quotes in it, actually, that are real quotes from other people, such as I named Barbara Spector. Arizona lineman gave a diamond and said, G.I. Joel, knowing is half the battle. Yeah, that was the reference. It was a cartoon back in the 80s for the Gen Xers and some of the older millennials who used to watch G.I. Joe, the 80s one, maybe early 90s. Thanks, Duke. Now we know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Very nice. Thank you for the subscriptions, guys. Nom and all you guys. And by the way, Hot Computer Smell gave a super chat and said, Joel, where can we find your music? Well, I happen to know one website, joelfridaytv.com. Is right? Yeah. JoelFridayTV.com. JoelFridayTV.com. And Hot Computer Smell also gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and said, Joe Biden has already adopted Harris's platform almost verbatim. As we already predicted, she's running her failed campaign vicariously through Joe. Yeah, it's really sick. Yeah. Let me finally get to my second favorite caller who's been on hold for some time, as well as the rest of you guys. 888-775-3773. Earl in Michigan, and I have some other stuff to get to you. Oh my gosh. I do have those Bible verses. Thank you for the reminder, Dark Side of the Bear, what? And others. Bible verses about men and leading a quiet life. And I have examples of men who should be more quiet than they are. And females. But first, let me get to Earl in Michigan. And by the way, I do have more footage of Trump dealing with these questions about QAnon. To me, it's just entertaining. I don't know. I like how Trump handles things. He just tells the truth. It's nice. Earl in Michigan, thank you for holding. Earl, how are you?
Hola.
Hey.
Buenos dias.
Bonus dears. Thank you.
So, baby Hitler, I was gonna talk about politics. You know, but I'm gonna change it since you're talking about Breonna. But you know, I just heard that Steve Bannon been arrested.
Yeah, I reported that in Hake News first hour today, end of first hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I mentioned it. Trump, I heard, said that he felt very badly about the arrest.
Yeah.
You know, it seems politically motivated on the part of the people who are doing this arrest and all that stuff. Seems like it might be politically motivated.
Well, I won't.
But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he is into something weird.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the intelligence report
Uh-huh.
and other things, Kamala Harris. But I'll do that another day. And since I'm going to touch on Breonna, since you mentioned her.
Yeah, Breonna Taylor.
Before I touch on that, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you, do you stand up for yourself? Or you?
Huh? You're asking me if I stand up for myself?
Yeah. Or are you just a surrogate of Jesse?
I stand up for myself. By surrogate of Jesse, you mean like I go on other TV shows and a puppet. I go on other TV shows and voice what he's about. No, I represent what I think, and I generally agree with him.
It's controlled, always affiliated with what Jesse says.
Huh?
That's what I mean. Are you a man, or do you stand up for yourself and have your own thoughts?
Oh. No, I don't think anybody has their own thoughts.
Well,
I don't think there's any such thing as thinking for yourself, because you'll notice.
Isn't that what Jesse teaches?
I don't know if he does or not. I don't think that he encourages. Hold on, Earl. He encourages people to think for themselves. But I don't know if there is such thing. Hold on, Earl.
It's your own. So how can you think for yourself?
Good question. Why don't you ask him? Oh yeah, you're banned. You're banned for being so shallow, Earl. How does it feel to be banned from the Jesse Lee Peterson show because you're so shallow?
So how am I going to ask him, which I've already done, idiot? But,
you sound bitter.
No, I'm just sorry.
You sound like my ex-girlfriend if I had one.
He banned me, so I wouldn't ask him because he don't like being challenged.
No, that's not true, Earl. You're lying. You sound like my wife if I had one.
Oh, that's another.
Yes, it is.
Jesse uses.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
It's a good one, isn't it?
I was going to ask you. I'm going to challenge you to show a video of Gary Chambers, who talks about
some say
the name of a school.
Gary Chambers, got it. Some say Earl is a waste of time. What do you say to that?
Yeah,
Skeeter Mills.
A lot of folks don't, as Jesse disciples.
Well, you're definitely a
Listen,
waste
come
of Earl. You're
They don't want
definitely.
anybody- they
Hold
don't
on, man.
want Any challenges?
No, come on. That's ridiculous. You think you're a challenge?
Yes, they do. They don't like you being challenged or some of the things you say.
Of course they do. They love when you call in. Some of them. They like the
Some
entertainment.
of them.
Yeah.
And some of them, like you say, don't want that.
Right, because
And
they
think
think
I'm
it's a waste of time. Because you're so vapid.
I'm so what?
Vapid, which is to say shallow, empty. You don't bring
Well, I
anything
ain't gonna
new
say that
or
when you don't
alive. Yeah,
I
you
just
make.
point out-
Yeah, you watch the news, so you come in with your little supposed facts and stuff like that. But you don't have any depth spiritually. You're like everybody knows, a Democrat, which all Democrats are just shallow. There's nothing Christian about them, and yet you repeat Christian
Well,
stuff.
that's your opinion. That's your
It's the truth.
philosophy.
No,
I can
it's the
say
truth.
The same about you.
You could, but
say the same
you
about
could, and I don't know.
That
It might
you
be
have
true.
no
I don't know.
feelings for nobody but yourself and white folks. I
Whatever.
can say the same about you.
That's you. That's you
But,
with black people, Earl.
So
That's
we
you
can
with
go
black
on and
people.
on about, what about it?
Huh?
No, I just stuck up because you're always putting them down.
No.
That's all you
Nuh-uh.
do.
No. Liar. You do not stick up for black people. You stick up for the destruction
No,
of
I
black
just
people.
point the facts.
You
that
love for
always
what
point
you
the
love.
negative.
Hold on, Earl. You defend every time a black gets themselves killed by resisting arrest and all that stuff. You defend them acting out.
No,
Yes?
the fact is, just because they resist
What'd you want to
arrest,
say, real fast? What'd you want to
just
say about
because they resist arrest don't mean they should be killed.
they
You
got
have
themselves
people
killed?
arrested all the time. You have people that's inebriated,
Uh-huh.
drunk.
That means
resist
drunk, yeah.
arrest and don't get killed. So resisting arrest is not automatically a death sentence.
Correct.
It
Correct.
depends on how,
But
how
sometimes they do get themselves killed, don't they?
and sometimes the police just overreact and kill. That's why they get.
I don't know.
charged
Can you
and
can
so
you name
forth.
an example when the police overreacted and it was their fault and not the person resisting arrest's fault?
What
You're
about
old.
the,
You're old
gun-
enough, Earl, to be old school and say they shouldn't have been resisting arrest. They got themselves killed. They brought it on themselves. But for some reason, you think like a young black, which is not thinking at all. In fact,
Well,
I know
that's your
many young
opinion,
blacks who are
you
more
young-
wise than you.
You young, stupid, and dumb.
Remind me of my little brother used to say stupid and dumb like that.
But I'm the one that brought Breonna to your attention, because you knew nothing about it. Breonna.
Congratulations.
Situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I looked it
And
up
by
on
the way, did you know, since you were reporting on Breonna,
Uh-huh.
that they had already arrested the person they were looking and breaking into Breonna's house about? The person they were looking for was already under arrest. You didn't know
Interesting.
that, did you?
No, nor did I care.
Uh-huh.
Nor did I care.
Oh, so you don't care when you see facts that you didn't know about, and it blows your whole thing about.
It
how
doesn't
she,
blow anything. It doesn't blow anything. The fact
And
is
another thing.
Hold on, Earl. It doesn't blow anything up. The fact is the cops were there doing a raid and she got caught in the crossfire. Nothing to do with racism,
And
which doesn't even exist.
they reported that they had information from the mail office, the mail or whatever.
And
that,
where do you get this information,
he was
Earl?
getting his stuff.
Where
That
do-
was when I reported. That was all.
No, where do you get
As
this
initial-
information?
Huh?
Where do you get
When
your
it was
information?
reported, when I got when I heard about Breonna's
Where?
situation.
Where did you get the information? Not when. Where?
Where?
Yeah.
The first time I got it was from another person. What's his name? Roland Martin on this show.
Oh gosh. Roland Martin is a
reported.
sleazy person, isn't he?
Well, whatever you say, man, I don't believe you. Just because you don't like him and so forth.
No, he's
But
sleazy.
he reports just like you. You are sleazy.
Okay, but he's
Anybody
sleazy.
you are sleazy.
Okay, but Roland Martin is sleazy.
whatever you. So what?
Thank you.
And the
I
thing
gotta
about
go.
it- Thing about it, they were wrong in the first place. They lied about it, and then
I don't take you don't care about lies. You're a Democrat. And
No,
Roland,
there you go with your
Roland Martin is a
your
liar.
political.
I don't care what you say.
bias,
I don't care what you say.
So are you? Are you Republicans? You lie all the time, just like your fearless leader.
Whatever. Anyways, I gotta go, Earl. Nice talking with you.
Adios.
All right. Bye. Yeah, I mean, I really just don't care about this case. Nobody cares about this case. Even these people pretending to care about this Breonna Taylor case, they don't. It's just drama. It's just something to exploit to push the destruction of blacks, of cops, of America. And maybe if I get a, as Jesse Lee Peterson calls it, wild hair, maybe I'll look into it more so I can debate with these dummies. But it's just every case, you take it case by case. But no, they want to act like this is part of a bigger problem. And they're not good at diagnosing the problem, nor are they good, they're even less good at telling people how to solve the problem. They're evil people, nasty. Very selective with the facts that they gather too. Sick. And what was she doing? At what time was this anyways? It doesn't really say, at least not at the top of this Wikipedia article. But what was she doing with this man whom she wasn't married to? These are evidences of a bigger problem. Not the stuff that they're into. Tyler, first-time caller in Illinois, wants to talk about what he refers to as fake coronavirus numbers. Tyler, what's up?
How you doing, James?
I'm doing fine. Good to hear from you.
Happy Men's History Month.
Yes, happy Men's History Month. Man,
I'm glad-
Earl is an example of why we need Men's History Month. Men are history if you got a 59, 60-year-old guy still being a Democrat and falling for Roland Martin, who's like a petty, fat, married to a fat female black preacher woman, which means fake
Earl
preacher.
cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was. I almost forgot what I had called about because of that. I was cracking up. I'm sorry.
Come closer to your phone. You sound a little far away. Are you on speakerphone?
Like right now, I've been. No, I'm not. But I was asked that earlier too.
Just speak up for me.
I'm just. Can you hear me? Are you good?
Yeah,
All
that's
good?
better.
Okay. So I've been hearing, and like I haven't looked too far into it, but I've been hearing a lot that a lot of the cases that have been coming out as of recently have been with people who have antibodies, not that are in there sick.
Yeah.
But, like had
Where-
it in the past, so they're using those cases as well, like of people who aren't contagious, who aren't sick, going in there.
Do you know where you
Right.
where you heard this? That people can look it up for themselves too.
I do not.
I've heard the same thing. But I think I've only heard people say it, and you know, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Breonna Taylor case. I'm not really interested enough to look into it for myself because I know these people are just dishonest people. We see them lying all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that this is mainly like I feel it's being used. Corona is also being used as a way to like keep people kind of scared and keep people
Right.
angry to try and get Trump out.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. The
That's
main part of holding everybody in and the mask mandates and stuff
That's-
around here.
yeah. That's my
Like right now.
That's totally my suspicion from the start with these people.
Yeah.
Like let no crisis or tragedy or whatever go to waste, which is something that the former Chicago mayor Rahm Emanuel said when he was in the Obama administration, I think. They exploit everything to push their false Trojan horse agenda, pretending that they care for Americans when they really do not. They only usher in more destruction and pretending to treat symptoms when they have nothing to do with the root issues, which they're part of the root issue. You know what I mean? Or the root issue is infecting them as well.
When there were all those protests and all the riots, there was no talk about the coronavirus.
Right, I know.
Talk about it during that.
Yeah.
They were pushing their agenda. And all this stuff with, what's that little 5-year-old kid who was riding the bike?
Cannon
I
Hinnant.
can't think of his. I've been seeing stuff. I don't really get on social media that much, but I've been seeing stuff on Facebook, and people are using that situation to like completely negating that this little boy, whatever race, whatever color he was, got just pretty much executed in front of his family. They're using that to push their agenda. I've seen repeatedly all these different things about, like, Breonna Taylor, all these other names that people are using this little kid to say, but where were you guys when this happened? Where was all this?
You're talking about the conservatives are bringing up Cannon Hinnant to show.
No. I'm saying the Black Lives Matter.
They're saying, oh, you guys care about Cannon Hinnant, but you don't care about Breonna Taylor. Is that what you're saying?
Right, like stuff like that. They're using it to push their agenda for Black Lives Matter and stuff like that.
That's
what I've been seeing, and I'm like, I'm getting back. I got right back off Facebook. I couldn't do it. It's no interest in that.
People are so backwards, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
How are you gonna just use this young boy as a way to push your agenda?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. It defies logic. They don't. It just shows you that these people are just exploitative, evil people that they never cared. They never had any love for George Floyd, who died, or his family.
I agree.
They didn't have, and even his own family members don't care. Or his friend, that guy who was in the NBA, who looks kind of like him. It's just they're suckers. They're just emotional suckers with no real love in their hearts, no dignity or morality that they're pushing. That's just all criticizing and accusing whites and cops, and no self-reflection on them, on their 100%. Own. Yeah, and it's their criticisms of the whites and cops are not valid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but then it's the same thing with all the little SJWs that are calling for cops to like stop certain speakers from coming to their campus.
Yeah.
But those are the same cops that they're complaining about every day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ingrates.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. And I just thank you, and you know, I appreciate what you do with Jesse and Joel. He black.
Nice. Right on, Tyler.
You have a good one.
You as well. Take care, man. Joe Maddock gave a Ninjagini. Very generous, man. Appreciate that. He says, BLM, as in Black Lives Matter, demon worshippers are leading their blind followers straight to the bottomless lake of fire, which is another word for hell. They're already in it. Nom Anor. Interesting name. Appreciate the diamond. He says, Savage Moments featuring Hake. Appreciate that. And thank you for another diamond, Nom Anor. Earl is beta like a mug, says Arizona lineman. Yeah, and thank you to Nom Anor for subscribing to the Hake Report on DLive. DLive.tv. If you subscribe, that's actually like helping support the show. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Let me just double check the Streamlabs. Okay. Cool, guys. So we're at 5 minutes till the top of the hour, and I don't think... No break, Hake? No break? Let me quickly show you guys this Bible verse about men. It is Men's History Month, and it just seems to be good about a good little Bible lesson, right? About men. By the way, someone who's not as quiet as he should be, I have this picture of his podcast. Don Lemon, who has a CNN podcast called Silence is Not an Option. I clicked on a Drudge headline. It took me to CNN, of course, right? And then it says, a new podcast, Silence is Not an Option, with Don Lemon. And he's looking all humorless and getting older. Trump derangement syndrome is aging and drying him out. Poor Don Lemon. He brought it on himself. But maybe his, the original anger from the mama, right? So, there's this thing about we need whites telling other whites, the SJW type of whites, female-minded liberals, whites need to be quiet and listen. Listen to the blacks. Listen, hear their stories. And then speak out against racism, because white silence is violence. The blacks need you to speak out and stand up against racism wherever you see it. And most of the cases of so-called racism are when somebody says something. Not even does something, just says something. Whether they say the N-word in a harmless fashion, such as when that Jewish atheist liberal guy who makes fun of Muslims and Christians and what's that guy's name? Late night guy's comedian, used to host Politically Incorrect. Jesse Lee Peterson appeared on that show with him. Bill Maher. Bill Maher said, Senator, I'm a House N-word. Because he didn't want to go out in the fields with the rhino, never Trump type of guy, Ben Sass. Some of you guys think Ben Sass is not a rhino, or at least one of you guys. But I think he is. But he said it in a harmless way, and the whole lynch mob came for him, and he had to grovel in front of that professor guy, Michael Eric Dyson, who talks fast and hates white people and stuff like that. So they only care when you say something. And you say something about, oh, blacks are not that diverse in their ideology, because 95+% vote Democrat when it's Obama or Doug Jones or whoever. Anyways, I agree whites should not be silent, but they shouldn't be speaking out against so-called racism, which is a red herring. It should be about, no, this is not right. Not going along with the sick Black Lives Matter crew. And I looked into that Goodyear story, by the way. I may touch on that if I have time. But this is from First Thessalonians 4. And I forget who wrote it. Did Paul write this? Some of you guys don't like Paul. Or a couple of people I've seen online. People say, Paul was a fake because he never met Jesus and stuff like that. But whatever. This is from 1 Thessalonians 4, and I do think I have this screenshot. And I'm just going to read the first 15 or so verses. And this is from actually, I'm going to skip around a little bit, but this is from the King James Version. For those of you who are the King James only, I'm not, but I'll just read it just so as not to be a distraction to you guys. Furthermore, then, we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Jesus, that as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please God, so we should abound more and more. For this is the will of God, even your sanctification, which means becoming perfect, right? That ye should abstain from fornication. Isn't that a nice verse? Stay away from sex out of wedlock. That's what that means. That every one of you should know how to possess his vessel, which I think means body, in sanctification and honor, not in the lust of concupiscence. I think that is the same root word as concubines. Concubines are people that are not women that are not your wife, and you use them to just have sex with them, I guess, from back in the day. in the old times? Even as the Gentiles which do not know God. That no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any manner, because the Lord is the avenger of all such, as we also have forewarned you and testified. For God has not called us to uncleanness, but unto holiness. Isn't that nice? And then he says, he therefore who despiseth not man, but God, who has also given unto us his Holy Spirit. Isn't that a nice verse? Kind of reminds me of anyone who hates. It's not just that they hate man, but God. Or anyone who breaks the rules or defrauds your brother in any way doesn't just despise his brother or wrong his brother, but also God, who has also given us his Holy Spirit to be perfect, right? But as touching brotherly love, you need not that I write unto you, because you are taught of God to love one another, he says. But listen to this. This is verse 11. And that you study to be quiet, which means pay attention to be quiet, right? Be quiet, it says. Isn't that a nice verse? A lot of people think, oh, we should be louder. In some cases, there is a time to be loud, right? But be quiet and to do your own business, meaning, I think, like mind your own business, and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, that you may walk honestly towards those who are without, and that you may have a lack of nothing. Isn't that a nice thing? Not lack anything. There's a lot of people who are like, lacking. Can you help me out type of stuff? But he wants you to be independent and work and be quiet. There's a lot of people who are, I don't know, like loudmouths, or they feel a panic and feel the need to beat you over the head with the facts that they get into, whatever those facts may be. Pick your favorite facts that you're into right now. Some people just can't be quiet when they need to be quiet. And you know what? Despite what you may think, like a lot of you guys are fellow friends and supporters of Jesse Lee Peterson, right? But he's actually pretty quiet. He leads a quiet life. Yeah, he talks on radio for 3 hours a day, and then speaks and converses with people in church for 2 hours every Sunday and stuff like that. Does the fallen state, and may go out on the street and shout at lesbians and dumb people, dumb kids who march against their lives against the Second Amendment. And then I will get to calls, guys. But he's actually lives a quiet life. And same thing with all like real Christian people. Once that's done, he's not into just keeping on spouting the so-called truth, right? But some people get into like ego spouting the truth and talking amongst each other and about each other and all that stuff. And that's not how like a real Christian life really is. I have some other verses. I don't have pictures of them, right? But Ecclesiastes, which is like one of the like wisdom, that's when they said everything is meaningless. But Ecclesiastes 9:17 says, the words of wise men are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Yup. In 1 Timothy 2:1 and 2, it says, I exhort all prayers and stuff, and thanks be made for all men, for kings and those in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. 1 Peter 3 talks about wives leading quiet lives. Isn't that nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Isaiah 32:17, and the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness and assurance forever and ever. In Isaiah 30, verse 15, I have like this whole passage for you, but I'll just read the verse itself, so I can keep going, because I have a lot of stuff to get to. But it said, for thus saith the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and confidence shall be your strength. And you would not. And it says something to the effect of, but you're rejecting that. And it's just kind of interesting. People don't pray. People don't do the quiet prayer, silent prayer. And people oftentimes need to be quiet when they're not, and then they're quiet when they shouldn't be. What a mess. So I have these verses. I'll put them in my blog post for today's the Hake Report thing. By the way, people are really sick of the riots. I feel that what's going on with the evil people getting more and more unmasked, you know, they're just brazenly nasty towards people, kicking people in the head. And I have a clip of incident that I may or may not want to play because it's kind of graphic. Maybe I'll share it on Twitter and cross my fingers that I don't get censored for sharing a beating of a retired police officer. But people are really sick of the riots. There's like black on white crime that's getting out in the forefront, and these Black Lives Matter and Antifa being evil and nasty, and the mainstream media gaslighting us, pretending that it's not happening, and the Democrats not making any mention of it. And then they're having the nerve to say our democracy is at stake and Trump is the one dividing us when they're promoting the lies of racism. Then that's all they've been doing, and sexism and all that stuff. I think a man of truth like President Trump, just about telling the truth. And Jesse Lee Peterson, just about telling the truth. And Jesus was back in the day that you can read about in the Bible. That exposes people. You know what I mean? Like, this seems like a overreaction. Decent men seem to make real decent men that are just solidly standing on the truth and whatever, cause people to go nuts. You guys saw how that, remember that? Hold on, Mr. Beta Male. That guy overreacted when Jesse Lee Peterson was telling the truth on that Chinese TV channel in America. That guy, Christopher Hahn. And that's how, like, people are overreacting to President Trump, who's just standing on the truth as he sees it, the best the boomer can do, you know? And I love boomers. Right on. Oh, man. So hopefully I'm going to get to Goodyear, because I did look into it. I mentioned it because somebody brought it up. And then I'm going to cover this QAnon thing, which is pretty funny. And also, like, back in the day, Joe Biden and the Democrats in general used to be a little bit more honest and telling the truth. Based? So I may touch on that too if I have time. But first, oh gosh, let me get to T in Alabama. T wants to agree with me on something, I think. T, it's good to hear from you. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey.
Why the hesitation, man, when you thought it was me?
When I'm like, oh, man. Because it's sometimes mind-numbingly dumb and stuff like that. Did I ask you how you felt about being banned from the Jesse Lee Peterson show, calling in?
Man, I could give a damn about
Whoa. This is a children's show.
Damn is in the Bible, man.
That doesn't mean you can repeat it like nobody in the Bible says, and you can smile upon it saying, I don't give a dang about. Please.
I could give a dang.
All right. The nasty attitude still comes through.
Well, that shows me how much of a coward Jesse is. That's all.
All right, tell yourself whatever you want.
It just confirms.
Never look at yourself, woman.
No. I mean, that's how it confirms, man. I'm quite sure a lot of people.
All right.
Just the only one to hear from people.
Never examine yourself.
Oh, like I said, Joe. I mean, James. But anyway, man, I don't want to speak about Jesse, man. Listening to you is almost like listening to Jesse. So, anyway, I'm going to agree with you, man, in regards to the Democratic Party. Okay? I'm not a Democrat, James. Okay? Believe that or not. I know that's hard to believe, right?
I don't know. There's a lot of people, blacks, who say they're not a Democrat.
Well, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not into the party thing.
All right, I will take your word for it.
Okay, seriously, I'm not into the party thing. I'm not into the color thing. Like
Have you ever
guys.
voted Democrat
Yeah, yeah.
recently?
I mean, I voted. Yeah, I voted. Both ways.
You vote both ways.
Yeah, I voted both ways. I mean, it's all about what I feel is a charity on the guy.
Joel's laughing at you.
Okay.
Or he's laughing with you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna get into.
Joel's a good-natured guy.
But
You know that Joel is a
So what?
good-natured guy?
yeah. Okay. Whatever. But anyway,
Dang.
I just want to say this. Like I say, I agree with you about the Democratic Party.
What do I say that you agree with about that?
Well, I mean, as far as they do play on racism.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
They do use that, and it's a way of, they play with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They do that in the same way, that you guys sort of play with emotions with white folks.
You think so?
So-called white folks. 'Cause I already told you, it's not a such thing as white people.
All right.
Okay.
But you think that we play with emotions on white people to appeal to them?
Y'all appeal to the fears of white folks. Say y'all getting killed by black folks, and black folks gonna take over the country and take your guns, and they're gonna rape your
Well,
wife. The same stuff.
I don't think I ever say that they're gonna rape your wife. What the heck?
Well, I mean, who
That's
said
a little too far, man.
Okay, but
maybe is that what
somebody said?
is that
right?
what? Oh, somebody
You
said
heard
it.
Somebody said that before, right?
I don't think that
somebody-
I've ever allowed that to be said. That's a
No, I'm
little
talking about
extreme.
You've heard somebody within your organization
No.
say that before.
No.
Oh, you haven't.
No.
Okay. So
I do
generally,
admit that that there are more black on white rapes according to the stats than white on black. I've never witnessed one firsthand.
And I'm
But,
telling the
hey,
same ones that
but hey,
don't go by stats.
Just
Oh,
we are pointing it out because there is a lack of, some people are really not aware of the disproportionate black on white crime.
okay, but isn't it?
Were you aware
not
of it?
a thing? No, I'm aware of evil. Just like.
But are you aware that? Are you aware that? Yeah, are you aware that that evil is manifesting in the form of black on white crime more often than white on black?
Okay, but it does happen white on black crime.
A little. Yep.
A little.
Yeah, but not
So,
as much as
it
black on
happens-
white. Not as much as black on white. Were you aware of that?
Both ways, right?
Yeah, but were you
happened
aware of
both
that?
No, it wasn't, but it don't matter. It happened both ways, right?
Right. But you
So
were not
then
aware
you
of that, right?
Well, but what I'm asking you, James, is it happened both ways, right? I
Right.
just want to have a conversation.
Yeah,
I
it
just
does.
want to
It does
think
happen
about
both ways.
it. Okay. So if
In terms of rapes, I don't know. Maybe one.
Bad is the fact that, I guess, 1% or a higher percentage on one side do it more to the other, even though they both do it, to each other, right?
Right. So
they
you.
make the others.
So what does that make you think about the media that pretends that they're about truth and stuff like that? When this is a commonly known statistic on the right, but you weren't aware of it. It
Well,
shows you that you
I
can't
don't
really
need the
trust the media, right?
I don't need the media to when I can, look stuff up myself.
Right, but you had never really
So I
thought
don't
to
need
look
the
this
media.
up.
I never thought of it. No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I never even looked either way, man.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it's like I say, I'm not into this.
But doesn't it show you that you can't?
separation.
It shows you that you really can't trust the mainstream media. They're not about truth.
Well,
They're
I
not
mean,
about
they have
what's.
the truth.
They're not
I mean,
about the. They're not about the big picture of truth.
Well, the truth is, the media is all about, getting people's emotions involved, man. That's it.
But they could
Okay.
easily get people's emotions involved with this black on white crime stuff. They could really do that, but they don't do that
No.
because I use it, and I don't like to show a whole lot of that stuff. I encourage people to check out Colin Flaherty. He covers it, and he's pretty objective with it. He says without racism, without rancor, right?
Well, I mean,
But I don't try to pull on people's emotions, but they could really dramatize it if they wanted to.
back in the day, they didn't get no advertising a whole lot when mostly white folks doing to get black folks, right?
I don't know what you just
they
said.
didn't- they
You're
didn't
kind of rough.
advertise the- No, I'm saying they didn't make it a big deal when a lot of white folks doing it back in the day when they was hanging black folks from trees and all that, they didn't make a big deal out of it, right? They kept it under the low at that time. Also.
Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
you
so
know
I
those
mean-
those lynchings. I don't know much about them. They tried to document them. It was.
Yeah, but
What are you? What is your
there's
point with bringing that up? What's your point with bringing that up? What does that have to do with the present day reality about the media?
I mean, no, it's just the media has been the media. Okay. It's
What is
always
that supposed to
been the
mean?
same.
What's that supposed to
Well,
mean?
it's gonna tell you what they want you to know. They're gonna show you
All right.
what they want you to see. That's all.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys, like I said, you and the rest of your crew all caught up in this color thing, man. You can't
Not
be
really.
a Christian and you cannot be a Christian, call yourself a Christian. You call yourself into a color and also into a political party.
You're really gonna try to bring up Christianity
Well, what you saying?
when you're such a nasty person, hating Jesse Lee Peterson?
No. Man, Jesse, like I said.
No, but
Jesse
okay,
is
never
a
mind that.
coward.
But you're a really hateful person, and you're really gonna bring up
So
Christianity.
you got to judge me, right?
No, you're judging us. I'm telling you.
I mean,
Okay, this is
you
the
gotta
thing.
judge me.
This is the thing about that. Part of the point of those verses about quietness is know yourself. You're like trying to take the speck out of our eye before you take the log out of your own eye.
Oh, y'all don't do that on your show every day, right?
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do.
No. Okay. So, I mean, you don't do that, and your boss doesn't do that every single day.
I really don't think Jesse Lee
I'm gonna tell
Peterson.
you right
I
now,
think
Jay.
Jesse Lee Peterson lives how he preaches. If anybody practices what they preach, it's Jesse Lee Peterson.
I want you to
So
do this,
now.
okay? I tried
Now.
to challenge James. Do this. Either one of you. I want you to go a day on your show without bringing up race.
I
you do that?
went a whole week last White History Month last year without bringing up blacks. I did it
James, then you say don't bring up the past. I'm talking about starting tomorrow. Why don't you bring it up?
because
Start
I don't feel like it, man.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
really-
appreciate the
I
suggestion.
really like you, man.
But this is taking a suggestion from a satanic, angry, nasty person.
Oh, now I'm Satan.
No, I didn't say
how
you're
you
Satan. I
judge
said you're kind of satanic because you're really nasty. We're having a nice conversation because I'm being pretty nice to you, but you get real nasty.
Man, be quiet. Okay? 'Cause
All
you
right.
sound ridiculous, James.
Okay.
You sound like a weak man.
All right.
Okay.
Fair
I mean,
point.
I'm
All right.
just being real with you. You sound like a weak man. A weak man.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay. Like I said,
takes
man,
one to know one.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Like
I'm
I
gonna
said,
let you go.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
let you go.
Take
But,
care.
I like you, James.
Thank you,
You're
Satan.
being misled by the son of Satan. Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all I gotta tell you.
Thank you, T. Take care, man. Let me quickly get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia. Rick, how are you doing?
I am doing fine, James. What about yourself?
I'm doing fine as well. It's nice to hear from you.
Always good to hear from you, James. You and Joel and the crew, man, love you guys, man. I'm just gonna get real quick, man.
Real quick
You know,
question, Rick. Do you do
Yeah, fire away.
Jesse Lee Peterson's silent prayer?
Oh, yes, I do Jesse Lee Peterson's the silent prayer. What he's talking about? Yes, I do that.
You do it?
I do it. Yes.
Nice. I didn't know that. I had never thought to ask you that.
Yeah, I do it. I've always been a peaceful person anyway. Type of person not the whole grudge. So I didn't.
But do you mean
didn't have
peaceful
a grudge.
in terms of like nice, or do you mean truly peaceful?
Truly peaceful? Just nothing seems to bother you. When you like that, James, people don't think you're normal. They think you're boring. Because know that when you're angry, everything bothers you. You ever notice when you be around angry people, everything bothers them. They impatient, judgmental. You can sit there and do something, and like if you disagree with them, angry people will spit fire out at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just go ahead.
How's stuff going with your family, if you don't mind my asking?
It's going pretty. Oh man, absolutely not. My family's doing good. My wife, she works on Air Force Base helping young kids on the essential personnel teach their children.
Okay.
She's a school teacher.
Right on.
And my daughter, my 2 kids, they're grown. They doing good. They alive and not in jail.
Typical. That sounds like low standards. That reminds me of like black standards. They're not in jail. What white
like,
parent have you heard says my kids are doing fine? They're not in jail. I don't mean to make fun of you.
No, but you know what? I didn't mean to make fun of them. I guess I'm just saying I'm blessed, that they're doing well because they could be locked up.
They like you?
You hear a lot of, huh?
They like you?
Yes, my kids love me. I believe they love me.
Right on.
And
Cool.
I didn't try and just be some fake person. I just try to live a godly life in front of them.
Yeah.
And be an example, and I always push, work hard and love people. There's nothing you can't get.
Right.
And, I try and make sure that they don't get tied up into the racism. Because, like I said, I've been listening to the Democratic Convention, and all the whole convention was about was racism and police brutality. It's like they drill that into people's heads, and I tell you, that's why a lot of black kids in the black community believe that because it's constantly drilled in their head.
Right. That's why you got to cut them some slack.
Yeah.
For being brainwashed.
It's like, yeah, but the problem is, James, sometimes, I hate to say this, sometimes I don't think there's no hope because Lyndon Johnson said he's going to see to it that he had black folks voting for the Democratic Party for the next 200 years.
I mean,
I'll be for dang gone, he don't.
Well, I mean, there's always hope. It's just that you don't get to choose who wakes up and who doesn't. It's not up to you.
That's true too.
Yeah.
And that's true. Absolutely true. But it just seemed like when you look at the average black person, they're getting worse and worse and worse, man. And I'm not saying no one can change, but I am saying, but it looked like it seemed like black kids come out Democrats so they come out of high school.
Right.
And just, like I said, we got to just keep going and just telling the truth. It's like most blacks, they're so liberal, man. Like when someone want to tell the truth, a lot of people don't want to have no discussion with them because they know they're going to be into an argument.
I know.
And a lot of them just don't say nothing, And
it's not wise to just fear and tiptoe from confrontation.
Right. Yeah, and that's what a lot of Hispanics and whites do. And I feel, and they know it's wrong, but they just won't say anything to blacks.
Yeah. Very true.
And they're just something, man. I don't need no confrontation, man. I want to enjoy my lunch.
Right.
And that's just sad but true.
Well, I mean, it reminds me of Jesse Lee Peterson's biblical question about many are called, few are chosen. But because people don't wake up and then nobody wants to tell them the truth.
Many are called, and it just seems like...
Then what's that tell you about the people who supposedly know the truth? Lame.
And you're right, too. A lot of people that know truth are afraid. They don't like confrontation.
So then they don't really know the truth.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because if they knew the truth, they wouldn't be afraid in the first place.
Yeah. Something to think about for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know there's times to talk to people.
Yeah.
But I know, too, when it comes to... I used to get into it when it comes to police brutality, like the Breonna case. A lot of blacks not aware that she was under investigation, too, in her house.
Interesting.
And a lot of blacks don't know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I listen to Brandon Tatum a lot, and he gives some good facts. I like Brandon Tatum.
Yeah, I like that guy, too.
And he gives a lot of good facts, man.
Right.
And, with the Breonna Taylor case, she was EMT, but not needless to say, she was dating a drug dealer, and also she was under investigation, too, by the police and our house.
Yeah.
But you don't hear the media talk about that.
Yeah, they only give you part of the story so that they can slant it how they want, which is very destructive. Yep. And then they say, our democracy, the free press is at stake. Meanwhile, the free press is getting censored on every social media platform. We are the free press. Everybody who's on the social media, that social media is the media, part of the media, right? It's part of the free
You
press.
might as well say it.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's why
Rick, it's good to hear from you, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Man, I hate to be long-winded, James, but we always have good topics, man. We'll love you, man. God bless you, man. And that's why, like, when you go to jury duty, they tell you to stay away from social media. They tell
Oh,
you that.
yeah. Dude.
They say stay away from social media.
Yep.
Because they know that if they keep looking at social media, they're not going to judge the case right. And
Right. Yeah,
and
they.
eventually, man,
That's what the mainstream media and the social media platforms are doing. They poison the well against this George Floyd case the day that it goes viral. They're doing it. You know what I mean?
You know, I wish I had played that video earlier. Now they just let the whole video out. I know they got to do the full investigation,
Right.
but man, I wish they'd have done it a lot sooner, man.
I heard,
I don't know if that would have helped.
I heard, and I cannot independently confirm, but what I heard, it's out there, that the Attorney General of Minnesota, that black far left Antifa supporting Keith Ellison, yeah, that he was the person behind withholding that video from the public because it casts doubt on the narrative that he was quote unquote murdered. They call it murder. Ridiculous. I wonder what.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wonder what Brandon Tatum thinks of it now that he's seen that video, because he was saying, "Oh, it looks like murder to me," because he was seemingly, in my opinion, overreacting a bit.
You know what? Now you know what? When I listened to Breonna Taylor when he said that on George Floyd, he was saying like, hey, you shouldn't even get put in that position. Now I'm like this. I still say this, James, that somebody had your knee on your neck. If you're in good shape, they can't kill you, man.
And he was in good shape, except not.
He was on drugs. That guy was on drugs. When I first
in that
saw
sense, he
George
was not in
Floyd,
good shape.
That's right.
Right.
When I first saw how his mouth was hanging, like he was going through stuff, I said, he's on drugs. I know it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing y'all gotta tell me. That guy is on drugs.
Right.
And sure enough, he was on drugs.
Yep.
And,
overdose levels, I heard. Look it up for yourselves if you're interested.
Enough.
Yeah. Anyways, Rick, I gotta go. Appreciate you, man.
Love
Take
y'all,
care.
man. Hey, y'all be blessed. Bye-bye.
All right. Let me get to first-time caller out of Los Angeles, California. Daniel has an interesting topic for you guys. Daniel, it's good to hear from you. What's up?
Hey, James, how's it going?
It's going well. Hey, it's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, it's Daniel, the former producer.
Nice. Daniel, the former producer of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to hear from you. And it's always good to see you in church and men's forums and stuff.
Hey, yeah, it's always good to go. It's always fun.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
But, yeah, so like the past, since I stopped working for the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, I've been working for Lyft, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I guess Lyft and Uber, they've been having issues with the California government.
Right.
Because the California government wants to consider the drivers like employees
instead of independent contractors or something, right?
Right, exactly. And they want to pay us like $30 or something, and with benefits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But Uber and Lyft, they don't want to like listen to the politicians, I guess.
They what?
So instead, they don't want to do what the politicians are asking them to do.
Exactly.
Right, but like Lyft, I work for Lyft, so I can't really speak for Uber, but like Lyft comes off as the most liberal company you could imagine.
I know.
Like, they make us wear masks. You have to. I mean, yeah. Other than making us wear masks, like it's pretty much a liberal. Yeah, like okay, like in the driver hub, it's like where the drivers go for information.
Yep.
And it's like a little office. There's the transgender bathrooms in the Lyft hub. So they're pretty liberal.
Right.
So you expect the California politicians, which are the most like Democratic politicians in the United States, to agree with Lyft at least.
Right.
But well, they couldn't agree with each other, and they ended up like suspending the rideshare services until further notice.
Wow.
So there's a bunch. Yeah. So there's like. So I'm unemployed again.
Dang.
And there's a bunch of people unemployed, and there's a bunch of people that won't be able to use the the rideshare services.
Wow, that's awful. So both Lyft and Uber are out now.
Yeah. But
You know who?
the thing is that-
You know, one of the
Yeah,
people
go ahead.
behind this is Lorena S. Gonzalez. And according to her Twitter, she's a mama, a labor leader turned California assemblywoman, female assemblyman, progressive Latina Democrat, Latino caucus chair, appropriations chair, and Mrs. Nathan Fletcher. I guess she's married a white guy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But she's
Is
been
she
pushing this 20, what was it, Prop 22?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Prop 20 or Prop 22. Yeah, one of them.
Something like that, where
But-
she's been pushing this thing where, and it's affected truckers as well. There's some truckers or truck companies that don't even want to come into California anymore. So basically, independent contractors in general, if they do a certain type of work that's in line with what the company's supposed to be about, then you have to be an employee, and then you have to benefits and all these weird things. It's basically
Right.
in order to like money grub or something like that from the state of California, I think, because they want more to collect more taxes, and she's pretending that she cares about the workers, right? The drivers.
Right.
And but yet you guys are out of work now.
Yeah, until November 20, which doesn't make sense. And you'd expect like Lyft. They've been arguing this for years.
Yeah.
And you'd expect them to have some sort of so at least like temporary solution until November.
Right.
But no, they're just canceling everything. Everyone like fend for themselves like during the pandemic.
Wow.
So it's
So
pretty
we
crazy,
can't
but-
even so if let's say I want to catch a ride somewhere, I can't even call an Uber or a Lyft.
No, you got to call a taxi or a bus.
What about delivery service? Do they have like Uber Eats and stuff like that still, or just?
Yeah, Uber Eats is still available. So I'm probably gonna start working for them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, it's brutal.
The thing is that like the liberals they don't agree with each other either. Like,
That's true. Yeah, they don't.
Or they're like, or the Democrat or like the Democrats in California, they pretend to be Democrats or liberal. Somebody's pretending to be a liberal, but they're not really a liberal.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
I think you're right. A lot of these, like the Democrat politicians, pretend to be for the workers, but they're really not. The the corporations, it's all.
Yeah.
I think it's all PR. Like they are. I don't think they care about these so-called progressive causes that they support.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, transgender, and all that stuff. I think it's just to protect their butts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you know the rhinos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like they're Democrats, but
But they call themselves
they're
Republicans.
no, exactly. You know, they're Republicans, but they're rhinos, but they call themselves Democrats.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, but it's all good, and I'm not even worried about all this. Like, I'm not even worried about. I have some money saved, and
Right on.
yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be, so that you can take on any situation and be at peace.
Right.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's all good. It's just interesting the way the liberal companies work and the Democrats.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But it kind of gave me hope about the politicians in Sacramento, because like, all right, so like Lyft, they sent out like a little email today, like explaining everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And they've been sending the email, like they sent an email on Monday, like kind of warning us that this was about to happen.
Right.
But then on Monday they were just calling them politicians. Lyft was like, oh, it's us against the politicians. But then today they're calling them the Sacramento politicians.
Wow.
So,
It's getting more specific.
That's really nice.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, I was about to donate today. You guys got demonetized?
Yeah, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, I'm demonetized. I can't accept direct donations on my YouTube channel. Just on Streamlabs and DLive only.
Was that recent though? That was recent.
Yeah, this took place January, mid to late January. So this Friday I can reappeal.
Oh, wow.
And I've tried to clean up, the descriptions and titles. We'll see if they want me to delete videos and all that stuff. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say that that my mom got the coronavirus.
Oh, really? How'd she handle it?
Yeah. But the thing is that she got it from my stepdad.
He's laughing.
But, yeah, because like, well, they're not even married. Like, they've just been dating for like 14 years.
Wow.
And he's a white guy. My mom's like Colombian, Mexican, or
Yeah.
she's Colombian, but
Right.
immigrant. So it's like an interracial relationship that shouldn't be going on. So they've been dating for 14 years, and he's like a little nurse. And then he caught it from the from the hospital, and he gave it to her.
Man.
But, yeah, but she was only like, yeah, it only lasted for, and she's like 56 years old, so it only affected her for like a week.
Okay.
And then she was back to normal.
Well, that's good to hear, at least.
Yeah,
So she
yeah.
still has a chance to repent.
No, she's a Catholic.
Okay.
I try. Like, I haven't given up on her, and she tries. She tries.
Yeah.
She's a Catholic. Yeah, she's a Catholic, and he's gonna probably die before her because the women tend to outlast the guys.
That's true.
And like white people tend to die before Hispanic people.
Interesting.
That's like a scientific thing. Yeah, that's like a scientific
I believe that.
data. Yeah, it's scientific data. So I wouldn't, it's just science. But so I think she's gonna outlive him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if she repents then.
Right. Man. Well, thank you for the update. Take care, Daniel. All right. Take care. Wow. Yeah, any truckers? I have a lot of truckers who listen to my show and the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Well, Tony, I wonder if Tony, the goofy guy from California, who used to call me sir, but then he started calling me bro and man when he started getting aggressive and gloating about the destruction of white people. But any truckers out there that have been affected by this anti-independent contractor law, let me know what's going on, because I've been hearing about this since December. Like Christmas, some of my family members were talking about this, because one of an in-law is a longtime truck driver, and I don't know if he had to quit or what. Anyways, speaking of these corporations that don't care about America really, and they're pretending to be for social justice. Goodyear, I have a couple of photos, right? Or some screenshots, a picture, an alleged picture. Somebody on the Jesse Lee Peterson show claimed that it was photoshopped, which I don't know if he's just assuming it was photoshopped since they said it wasn't from Goodyear corporate. But Goodyear is another anti-American U.S. company, and they've been an American company for over 100 years, maybe even over 120 years. I think they were founded in Akron, Ohio. But this is a photograph, allegedly, of a slide that's projected on a projection screen, apparently in a office or looks like a classroom type of setting, right? Or a conference room. And it's telling you it's like diversity training, and it's in this location. I think it came out of Wichita, Kansas, maybe? I don't remember. But anyways, the slide is titled Zero Tolerance, and it's from One Team, and it has the Goodyear logo thing, which is like a foot in flight with wings on it. But anyways, it says Zero Tolerance. This is a purported employee who sent a photo of a zero tolerance policy projected on screen from Goodyear's One Team slide, dividing acceptable attire and messages from unacceptable ones. So on one side is acceptable, and it says, acceptable, Black Lives Matter, BLM, LGBT pride, and I think it might even say Q too, LGBTQ pride, which is lesbian, bisexual, transgender, gay pride. Those are acceptable, right? Supposedly, those are not political and divisive. Of course they are. But anyways, on the other side is unacceptable. Show the slide again, if you can. Blue lives matter. All lives matter. Those are unacceptable messages. I guess because they counter-signal Black Lives Matter, right? So that's divisive. Not that Black Lives Matter is not divisive, right? MAGA attire, which stands for Make America Great Again. So they don't want you making America great again. Just because that's aligned with Trump, like it's associated with Trump. And it also says politically affiliated slogans or material. What could be more politically affiliated than Black Lives Matter or LGBTQIA madness? That's all Democrat stuff. And yeah, you can find some of them, you know, the so-called gay Republicans infiltrating into the Republican Party, pretending that it's all fine. But it's not. It's not right. So in other words, you know, Christians not allowed. This slide went viral after WIBW, which is a CNN and NBC, I think, affiliate, posted it on a news site. So Trump tweeted Wednesday morning, yesterday, 7:30 in the morning, my time. Don't buy Goodyear tires. They announced a ban on MAGA hats. Get better tires for far less, Trump tweeted. And he put in parentheses, this is what the radical left Democrats do. Two can play the same game, and we have to start playing it now. Isn't that interesting? So, of course, Drudge headline sharing a CNN article. In my opinion, Drudge is sharing what the mainstream media is saying about it. President cancels Goodyear tires as he campaigns against cancel culture. And I say that's wrong. This is a fight for America. Goodyear, by doing this policy, is being anti-American because Black Lives Matter is anti-American, very political, very divisive, more divisive than any one person. If somebody likes Joe Biden in the workplace, that's far less offensive than somebody liking Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter is directly anti-white, whereas Joe Biden, yes, he is anti-white, but that's not the primary thing that he's known for. You know what I mean? He's, in some of your minds, yes. But anyways, so this is bad. I call them Badyear. Corny James, right? Badyear's response instead of Goodyear. Goodyear tweeted a screenshot of a statement Wednesday, 8 in the morning, a half hour after Trump tweeted that, writing yesterday, which was referring to Tuesday, Goodyear became the focus of a conversation that created some misconceptions about our policies and our company. Goodyear has always wholeheartedly supported both equality, which is an anti-American commie buzzword, and law enforcement, and will continue to do so. And then there were no misconceptions about Goodyear, by the way. No misconceptions. Unless they do support All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. They didn't really address it directly that I saw. So unless they contradicted what the slide said, they did not contradict it, though. We should not believe, but by the way, we shouldn't believe that every other company won't do the same to us, right? Any company that supports Black Lives Matter, which most of them do, most of these corporations do, hates America. Cowardice. So this is Badyear's statement. Goodyear has a zero tolerance policy for any forms of harassment or discrimination. This is the screenshot down there in that middle, right below the Goodyear logo. We have zero tolerance for any forms of harassment or discrimination. Yeah, as if Black Lives Matter isn't harassing America and trying to discriminate against decent people and cops and whites. To enable a work environment free of those, we ask associates refrain from workplace expressions in support of political campaigning for any candidate or political party, as well as similar forms of advocacy that fall outside the scope of racial justice and equity issues. So, so-called racial justice and equity issues are acceptable to them. Which racial justice is not justice. Equity issues, that's a lie as well. In other words, only anti-white, anti-cop, anti-America, anti-male, anti-Christian messages are allowed. Second, this is what they go on. We appreciate the diverse viewpoints of all our more than 60,000 associates, fostering an inclusive and respectful workplace, which nothing Black Lives Matter does is respectful, is important to establish teamwork, or the LGBTQ pride stuff, is important to establish teamwork and build culture, whatever that means. which is another reason we ask associates not engage in political campaigning of any kind in the workplace for any candidate, party, or political organization. But I say BLM is very disrespectful, deceptive, and divisive message, and same with so-called LGBTQ pride, implying whites and cops and Christians and all that stuff are looking the other way as blacks get murdered by whites and cops, which is not true. It's the other way around. Blacks are murdering each other and whites and cops. They do in general. But blacks, by contrast, are brainwashed to embrace, and Michael Brown, you know, the guy who was a criminal, Obama sent associates there. How does the stream go? It's anti-police after reacting to the visual. Nothing could be further from the truth, they say. And we have the utmost appreciation for the vital work that police do on behalf of our shared communities. Buffering, Hake, we're buffering. Oh, Joel knows. Sorry about the buffering and the choppiness, guys. But, I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. Skip. What a pain. Should be back up now, guys. Press 1 if it's back up. I know that you guys have just been through buffering. Should be good now. It's green again. Our screen. Turn on the AC, please. I know it's probably freezing out there, but oh, you had the vent closed. What the heck, Joel? He's like African. No, he's from the bayou. He's from where it's hot in New Orleans. Oh my gosh.
But the AC is like right underneath.
I know. Yeah, it blows directly down on him, and I only feel like the after effects.
And I'm trying to look cute in my Men's History Month shirt, and it's real tight and thin, so I'm suffering.
He needs his poncho. But I told him to turn on the AC, not just for me, but also for the computers, because it's not good for the computers to get hot, right? And this is 2 hours of Hake, and I got 12 minutes to go. So press 1 if it's good. It looks like it's good. Thank you, guys. Nick says, AC been on. We're fine. Yeah, Nick likes it cold. So anyway, they say upmost. So Goodyear hates cops in America by caving. And actually, the word is not upmost because they clearly don't put cops' vital work at the top. Otherwise, they wouldn't be supporting Black Lives Matter. They would have clarified that Blue Lives Matter is A-OK, which I did not see from them. Upmost is the wrong word. It's utmost with a T. Grammar Nazi. Grammar Baby Hitler. That's from Baby Farrakhan. Goodyear's tweet also exploits a new Twitter feature, by the way. Can you show that tweet from Goodyear once again? At the very bottom of it. Zoom in towards the bottom. It says, who can reply? People that Goodyear mentioned can reply. And they didn't mention anybody. So, in other words, they don't want any feedback on their failed policy of hate. So, you know, liars were responding, of course. Frank Luntz, who's a kind of a rhino guy, frequently on Fox News. He's a pollster type of guy. And other worse liberals were claiming that Goodyear is an American company, been around forever, and they keep in America, pro-America, and they make... CNN says the president's limousine, known as the Beast, has custom Goodyear tires that they said in a 2009 statement that it's exclusive for the U.S. Secret Service. Then act like you like America, Goodyear. Stop kissing up to the destruction of America, just like, which includes Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQIA false pride madness, which is hurting America. Both extremely immoral, hateful, divisive, destructive messages. Pride in perversion? No. Just because you can't help it doesn't mean you can't help it more than you think, right? Anyways, and then they're disallowing messages that support America, cops, police. Trump is helping to save America, right? And save the world. And so real fast, I want to play a couple of... Press 2 if it's buffering badly. Press 3 if it's buffering kind of, but you can manage. Press 1 if it's great. Is it buffering still?
It's changing colors.
It's changing colors. Changing colors, guys. Sorry about that. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. And forget all you guys that are giving me the bad news with the 3s and 2s. I say that Trump is helping save the world, and then D-Live. It's not just D-Live. It's Periscope. It's everybody. It's buffering like crazy. I'm not supposed to scream. Okay, we're good now. Press 1 if we're fine now. Press A for A+. We're fine now, I think. LGBT stream health. Oh, man. Okay, guys. I think it should be back up. Yeah. Okay, while we're healthy stream, I got this from a so-called journalist named Aaron Trupar on Twitter. It's clip 13A, Joel. We're going to skip 12 just to be safe, right? Of course, this is mentioning Q, but I'm not into Q, guys. Don't ban me. We're not domestic terrorists. They actually, I think the FBI labeled Q as domestic terrorists. Is that true? So ridiculous. But I don't deny Q. I think they love the country. Anyways, here's Trump's response when he's asked to shed his light on his thoughts about what Aaron Trupar calls the lunatic QAnon conspiracy theory. Instead of denouncing it, he says this. Listen to this. 13A. Oh, we're buffering again. Sorry, guys. Hang tight until we finish buffering. We have... Okay, we're green. After this clip, I'm going to open the treasure chest or so. After these clips. Listen to this from Trump.
During the pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much, which I appreciate. But I don't know much about the movement. I have heard that it is gaining in popularity, and from what I've heard, these are people that when they watch the streets of Portland, when they watch what happened in New York City in just the last 6 or 7 months, but this was starting even 4 years ago when I came here, almost 4 years, can you believe it? These are people that don't like seeing what's going on in places like Portland and places like Chicago and New York and other cities and states. And I've heard these are people that love our country and they just don't like seeing it. So I don't know really anything about it other than they do supposedly like me, and they also would like to see problems in these areas, like especially the areas that we're talking about, go away.
Nice. Right on, Trump. Don't be joining in the lynch mob against these nice people. I see them ever. If, the true enemy of the people are the fake news media who are promoting the lies of racism. Even T from Alabama agrees with me that they're pushing this nonsense. Well, here's more. Watch him swat away an enemy of the people like a harmless gnat. I got this part from Revolver. A reporter, and it's also from the Columbia Bugle. A reporter follows up on this Q thing. Here's more.
Well, just real quick, at the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind? Or
well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there. And we are, actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy this country. And when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow. The rest of the world would follow. That's the importance of this country.
Nice. Right on, Trump. And he's right. Sorry about if there was buffering, guys. I see the bit rates going between 1,600 kilobytes per second to 2,500 kilobytes per second. Sorry about that if there was any bad buffering. And it looks like it's under 2,000 right now. What a mess. But anyways, right on to Trump. He's just continues to tell the truth. I like that. What a mess, though, about the buffering. But the black tech is going to work on it, guys. Fret not. Was it, if it, tomorrow it won't happen because we're going to stream from this switcher? Okay. It was just an honest mistake. Joel Friday was a little rusty.
Beta, Joel, beta.
You know, I have in my extras folder, Joel, I have pictures of based Joe Biden, and far be it from me to campaign for based Joe Biden, but this guy, Richard Grinnell, who's a sort of conservative guy, he likes Trump, and so I like him for that, and he's spoken in the same place one time where Jesse Lee Peterson and Ann Coulter both spoke in San Diego one time, a few years back. And now he's like a UN ambassador or something like that. I'm not really sure. I forget. But Richard Grinnell, he's in the government now. But he points out he's openly, brazenly homosexual. Not a good thing. We're opening the treasure chest, guys. But he says, he tweeted out on August 18th, as a U.S. senator, don't get excited about Joe Biden, guys. Joe Biden said gay people were security risks. Which is an interesting thing to say. And to be honest, so are Democrats, though. So is Joe Biden, a security risk. So are the women that they're kissing up to, right? Security risks. Because, I don't know what he meant by it, but there are lots of ways that immoral people or emotional people or morally compromised people or people who might sleep around more than others, I don't know, can be security risks. That's true. Joe Biden is every bit as much a security risk as any of the gays that he was talking about, but I don't think he's wrong about that. And then some other person tweeted out an old meme of Joe Biden, and I don't know if this is a real quote, but I don't know, like, look into this for yourself, right? But in 1977, because Joe Biden has been around forever, Biden said integrating black students would turn schools into a jungle, a racial jungle. Quote, I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle. And they call him old racist for that. But that's what they're pushing now. Like, I saw on Telegram, Vincent James's Telegram, a article that said that there's some person out there that says if you don't send your children to public school, you white parents, then you're a racist, which is a smear and a lie. Because what's going on is, I mean, I read to you the juvenile justice statistics about crimes, disproportionate crimes coming from Hispanics and blacks, even worse. I don't think I read about Hispanics, but about blacks versus whites, the crime is way different, out of control. And you need to fix the crime, fix the immorality. Actually, the crime is just a symptom. Fix the immorality before you can, which will fix the crime and the so-called poverty, right? It's the poverty of spirit, as Jesse Lee Peterson so frequently says, that leads to the so-called poverty, physical poverty, which is they don't even really have, and the moral poverty that leads to this crime, robberies, thefts. Theft is robberies, right? Robberies, assaults, murders, rapes, all those things. Crimes of violence. Unlike what atheistic, communist, socialist AOC, who pretends, I guess, to be Catholic, pretends to blame it on not having enough or whatever. That's the typical materialistic socialist people who don't believe in God. They believe in, oh, they're immoral because they don't have enough. Anyways, guys, this is the end of the show. Appreciate you. Oh, treasure chest. Thank you for reminding me about the treasure chest. Thank you to Jen Bug for the diamond. And thank you to Arizona Lineman, who says, I could give a dang about Miss T, the King Beta. And Joe Maddox says, enjoyed the segment about reading/discussing the Bible passages. Right on. So with that, we're going to the last nice song, and we're opening the treasure chest, guys. Take care. Bye.